What's up, Guiding Bolt fans? This is Nick. Welcome to day number 12 of the Codewars.com Python Training Challenge. And today we are going to be solving Fizz Buzz. And the reason I picked this one is because I enjoy playing Fizz in League of Legends. You might also notice there's a little check mark up here. So what I did is I have actually already solved this. However, I apparently didn't click record on OBS, so I solved it, and then didn't actually get the recording. So we're doing it again, darn it. So you don't have to watch me struggle this time. We're basically just going to go through with the code that I use, so you can at least see it in action. So let's go ahead and jump in. So basically what we're going to be doing here, let me read it out to you first. So it says here to return an array containing the numbers from 1 to n, where n is the parametered value. Replace certain values, however, if any of the following conditions are met. If the value is a multiple of 3, use the value of Fizz. Multiple of 5, use Buzz. If it's a multiple of 3 and 5, use Fizz Buzz. And then n will never be less than 1. So basically, what we end up doing here is we're going to do a for loop to iterate over the numbers, because we got to start at 1 and go to 10. And then we're going to go ahead and jump into an if-else statement after that to check for each one of these conditions. And I mentioned, so we can't do something like this. So for I in n, we can't loop over it that way because it's actually passing in an integer, not a list. So there'd just be one value here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the range function, which I think we also did on that horrible video a couple days ago, where I solved it, but I was like kind of way off on the solution. It was a miserable one. So go back and watch that one for a laugh. But anyways, the way we're going to do this is we're going to go ahead and use a range. So we're going to say for I in range. And we're going to start, we can start these where we want when using the range command, but we're going to go ahead and start it at 1, and we're going to go to n plus 1, because what's going to happen is when we use the range, it actually goes up to but doesn't include the number. So if we passed in 10 here, it wouldn't include 10, so that's why we're adding on that plus 1. And then what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and drop down into our if statement, and we'll say, well, actually, you know what? We're going to do one other thing first. We need to go ahead and create a blank list. So let's say my list is equal to nothing at the moment, because while we're iterating through this range, we're going to be storing the values that we spit out in the my list. So basically just creating a new list to return. And just so I don't forget, because I did this the first time through, I forgot to return my list, and took me like 45 seconds to figure out what the heck was going on after I got errors trying to submit it. So let's see here. So all we got to do now, let's see if I can remember now what I did. So it's pretty easy actually. Basically all we got to do is just add an if statement for each one of these checks here. And we'll go ahead and do this one first. So we'll say if I mod 3, so basically we're checking for a remainder here. If that is equal to 0 and I mod 5 is equal to 0, then we will mylist.append fizz buzz, like so. And then we just got to go ahead and throw some elifs and an else statement on here. So if we say elif I mod 3 equal to 0, then we will mylist.append fizz, and then we can go ahead and cheat and just copy this guy, paste that down here, and then we'll change this from 3 to 5 and this to buzz. So that's our 3 checks over here. So basically the way this is working is we're taking I and then we're basically dividing it by 3 and seeing if there is a remainder or not, because what this modulo, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, that's why I just call it mod. What this is doing is checking in, it would return a remainder if there was one. So if there is no remainder, then we know it's a multiple of the value. And all we got to do down here is say else, and then we will just mylist.append, and in this one we can just go ahead and add I to the mylist. So that should be all that we need. I don't think I'm forgetting anything this time. Let's go ahead and test that. There we go, passed. And there was only 5, like actual, yeah, passed 5. I was surprised there wasn't more tests ran on this, but I guess it is kind of, pretty easy. But let's go ahead and submit that for the second time. If you have any questions, go ahead and toss them down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching and sticking with me, and we'll hopefully catch you in the next one.